You know when you reach that age where everyone and their mother won't shut up about their credit scores, yet it seems like no one really understands what's so special about those 3 random numbers? That's because credit scores are meaningless, unless you have Credit Karma to show you how to use them. We use those 3 random numbers plus your financial profile to help you find your next opportunity, like a more rewarding credit card, a game plan that helps you pay down debt faster, or a personal loan to help you save more on interest payments each month. Cha-ching! Download Intuit Credit Karma today to get started.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouthwatering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
With Uber Reserve, you can book your Uber ride in advance, 90 days in advance. Perfect for all you forward thinkers and planning gurus. Reserve your Uber ride up to 90 days in advance. Uber Reserve. See Uber app for details.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
I even
You can unmute yourself and continue your conversation, but I'm just starting the clock.
I just don't know why it's a whole minute clock.
Well, this is the live intro, so
yeah, but it automatically mutes me. I didn't mute myself, and I painted my fingernails pink for breast cancer awareness, by the way, too.
All right, man.
Can't wait to show that off.
All right, that's
Can't wait to show it off on camera.
Okay, thanks.
Good job, Q.
Thank you.
You got to stand up. You got to stand up against cancer.
I do.
I
If
wish you
Tiff
would
won't
find
do
the
it, I
right.
will.
I wish you would find the right color to stand up against it, but okay.
Bears come back out of the bye and return to being giving us bad news. Tiff, Q, how y'all feel?
I feel good. I got one request before we start the show. The intro music. Can we change that to like some Chicago footwork music?
It could be footwork or it could be drill. We got a drill rapper in the news
Either
right
one.
now.
Man, free Durk. He ain't do it.
Yeah, okay. I hope Durk
I mean,
enjoyed
he
London
didn't do it.
and,
He paid for it.
City and
He
all
didn't
that.
do it.
He
Okay,
failed
well,
at he
that's
failed at
what's
doing
up.
it.
He will get his
He
day
paid
in court.
for it. Listen, he slid for Vaughn. He did what y'all asked him to slide for Vaughn. He slid for Vaughn.
Well, he just wasn't
You
successful.
get one of mine, I get one of yours. Oh, somebody died. So, I mean, it was a success. It may not have been the one he wanted, but he got somebody though. He did his
He gonna have
job.
a very long time to think about it too.
Man, I wish somebody would slide for the Bears. So listen.
That's facts.
We backslid instead. But we'll have plenty of time to talk about the unfortunate afternoon the Bears had in week 8. Let's talk about what were the positives first. Let's at least get that out the way. Thank you for that rousing rant Sunday. You got the tenor of the Bears Nation, right? Being the voice of Bears Nation, Tiff. What was the goods from week 8?
What were the goods from week 8? Ain't none, Bia. Okay. I'm gonna go back to a throwback viral video. I don't know if you all remember this one, but when Buddy was like, his foot stance, whack. The way he walks, whack. The way he talks. You don't remember that one? Man, you're gonna have to look that shit up. That shit is hilarious.
You got to DM me that.
I will. he goes through a whole list about it. I don't know what dude he talking about, probably his girlfriend's, sneaky link or something, but he go through a whole list about the dude. He say all that shit about that dude is whack. And then at the end, he be
Shout
like,
out to
me, I'm
Sneaky
tight
Link.
as fuck. Like, the shit is funny as hell. But anyway, that's how I feel about the Bears game. All that shit was whack. I had one or two good things on my list, and by the end of the game, I deleted all of them. Because I don't have zero good for nobody on that team or on that sideline after that performance. Now, can we, silver lining and in the future, woo, sure. But about that game, zero good, bro. Zero.
Q, you agree? Nothing good you can take from this game?
I wanted to talk about all the good from the defense with guys stepping up for Gordon and Brisker. And then with 1 second left in the game, something happened, and I didn't want us to call the defense good anymore. Now, there might have been one guy to blame, but that is the one guy on your unit. So, no, I don't want to talk about the defense, even though overall I think they did play a good game. But you know what? A game is 60 minutes. You don't let up with 1 second left or 20 seconds left. If I want to do any good, I'm going to give DeAndre Swift good. He was dynamic and explosive in the open field again, over 100 yards again. Big run to put us on the board when we were struggling. He showed up when really nobody in the offense was really clearly ready for this primetime game. And maybe we shouldn't have been flexed because we came and embarrassed Chicago. That's what we did.
You know what? Q, you softened my heart a little bit. I will give Swift a half good. I will concur with you on that, especially how hard we were in the first couple games on him. He was that one singular spark of offense to give us any kind of momentum, to give us that first touchdown that we so desperately needed. So you know what? I will give him a few flowers in that because he did show up.
And that's a sign that Q approved when a lot of people were not feeling the Swift signing.
No, I like that you all are zigging in the same direction. So that leaves me space to zag. I'm going to give my good to Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams, now he didn't have his overall game wasn't pretty, but I'm not going to place the blame all on his feet. He lost three starting linemen in this game, and he was running for dear life for most of it. The tackle, Q, correct me if I'm wrong, but the tackle they got that replaced Braxton Jones, his name was,
I cannot pronounce his last name yet. You got to give me a while. Kyron, the third round pick from the Ivy League school. I can't remember. Was it Brown?
Whatever his name was or is rather. He got exposed early and often. He was a pretty bad player. They knew to attack him the second he got into the game. Caleb Williams, to his credit, he made it work. He moved around the pocket. You saw again one of his best attributes was his ability to feel the pressure in the pocket and escape that pressure. Right. While I'm giving him his flowers, I do also want to point out that he was also struggling with some of his touch in the first half. Some of his passes weren't the best, and I would say some of that is because he was moving around. His feet got happy. He never really had a solid level to play on for the most part for the first half. Now, he was drafted high because you expect Caleb to be able to play off schedule, and he made some off schedule plays when he was moving to the right and he threw it back across his body to Keenan Allen that one play, that sidearm pass he made in the red zone in the fourth quarter. Those are some of the plays that you expect to see from this ballyhooed generational quarterback. Now I'm gonna say it again. Yes, his box score is not pretty. If you watch the game as a fan, right, it didn't look great, but it's the little things that Caleb was getting off that you say, okay, he is that guy. If we have a perfect offensive attack, like some of the planets in his orbit were a little bit better, we'd have had a way better game. But I'm just going to go ahead and say, because no one else is going to do it. No one else in Bears media, Bears Nation is going to do it. Like, Caleb, You had. I'm not mad at you for yesterday.
Well, I'm not even gonna fully jump in yet, but I will say there are fans in Bears Nation that are saying that, and the Delulu that you all have is very commendable, and I do like, hey, ride for your guy, lie for your guy. You we need some of you for Durk, because you all are stretching the truth. Like, I've given Caleb Love props. There were times where that play shone. But guess what? If you're a generational talent, you don't need everything around you to be perfect. Like, you're supposed to be the one that bumps everybody else up. Any quarterback, if everything around him is perfect, can play great. And again, this is rookie year, giving him grace, boo, 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 boo. But we're not about to act like he had a great or even good game yesterday. If you watch the game, like, I don't know. I can't hold my face on that one, because I'm like, there are fans that was like, oh, Caleb was clearly the better quarterback yesterday. And I'm like, what world are you living in? And can I have a ticket to that Delulu land?
I don't remember Caleb turning the ball over. I don't remember Caleb being the reason that the Bears lost. The offensive struggles that the Bears had, I'm not putting that on Caleb. Can
we put the overthrows on him though? Can we put the blatant overthrows on him?
The 3 overthrows. Yes, I can do that. Right. I already spoke to that. He wasn't precise. He wasn't crisp in the first half. Like, he had a few overthrows. Right. I already spoke to that. He's a rookie, and he had the chip was all over the place in the first half. A lot of that is going to happen when you're running around trying to escape pressure. That's going to happen. That tends to happen. The 2-time MVP had a lot of overthrows yesterday, and they're lost to the Browns. It happens from time to time. Now back to the
does, but when it okay. All right. I don't know. It's just like we cherry picked a couple good plays, and let's just call a spade a spade. He did not, in my opinion, he did not have a good game. Has he had great games this season? Yes. This was not one of them. There were very few plays where I'm like, whoo, that one drive where we scored. Yes. Okay. Give him some love. And but the rest of the game, he looked nervous. He looked off. He looked flustered. I'm sorry. I didn't see the generational talent in that game. I saw a spark of good plays here and there. And again, this is not to bash him. He's a rookie. Give him all the grace. But okay.
I don't think I'm calling his game a good game. And if I did say that, if I did use that qualifier, let me pull that back. I don't think he had a bad game. He had the spark plays. He had the improvisational plays. Right, improvisation, whatever the word is. He improvised and it was able to make chicken soup out of dust on the floor. Right. He was able to do some things that you like, hey, I see that. That's the stuff that we ain't have with Cal Orton. That's stuff we ain't have with Rex Grossman. That's stuff we ain't have with Jim Kramer. All that stuff. Like, I'm picking up on Eric Kramer. What I say, Jim Kramer? That's the dude on CNBC.
I think you're thinking of Miller, and you can buy Eric Kramer, which I'm not mad at. They look the same and they played about the same. So
true. Jim Miller was a dog from every now and then. He was a dog.
Yeah, he would throw it.
Yeah, I'll take that. But going back to the Jaden Daniels comparison, right? This was built up as that game between number 1 pick and number 2 pick is going to be a showdown for offensive rookie of the year. Jaden Daniels, I have nothing to take away from him. He did play with a lot of poise. He looked like he was comfortable in his offense, and we've spoken to that a lot this season. He's playing in a familiar offense. This is the same type of offense he played with in college. He's not missing any guys on his offensive line or in his passing.
Like 3 backups in there. Didn't they say that yesterday?
No, we had 3 backups in there.
Nah. Okay, go ahead. Nah. Go ahead.
And to add further to it, the Bears secondary was missing a lot of guys. So he made it was already built up for him to look better. Well, to look good. Again, not taking anything from him, but if we're going to compare the games from both quarterbacks, it wasn't an even playing field.
To expound upon that, I think Caleb did a great job in the fourth quarter. He led 2 tough touchdown drives, albeit he was very shaky in the first half. He couldn't get anything going. He couldn't get any rhythm. I don't think you can place all that blame on Caleb. The offensive line was playing terrible. There were a lot of moving pieces during the game in terms of injuries. They were completely fooled by Dan Quinn's look. And the Commanders, they don't really blitz a lot. But the Commanders will give you multiple different fronts. They'll walk linebackers into those A gaps, and then they'll bail out. But the thing is, you still have to account for those guys at the line of scrimmage. So it still does something to your line protection and your pre-snap reads. And then when they did come on the blitz, it was very timely, and it was good. They got home. So and the Bears, they just didn't seem prepared for the game, and that's something that's very concerning when you have 2 weeks of preparation. So I don't think we did a good job preparing it. I didn't like the offensive game plan. I surely did not like the screen on 4th and 1, the little quick screen on 4th and 1 with no blockers in front of DJ. That was just mind-boggling. I mean, you had success running the ball. And the thing is, I don't understand the need to be cute. The Eagles have been doing the tush push for 3 years, and they don't disguise it. They don't play around with it. They line up when they're a yard to a yard and a half away to a couple inches away, 4th down, 3rd down, goal. They're at their 50, and they execute it. When you execute, you don't have to get cute. You don't have to get spicy. You don't have to hand the ball off to a goddamn offensive lineman. I mean, this guy has trained all his life to block. Why is he in the backfield running the ball? Give it to the guys that are there to run the ball. This is complete managerial failure by a professional organization. You don't even do that at McDonald's. You don't take the guy on the fry machine and put him at the register or put him at the drive-thru. You put him where he belongs so we can get our hot fries and go. What the Bears did yesterday was inexcusable. Total mismanagement.
They put Trump on the fry line.
And he didn't know what was going on. And Dougie looks like he loves Trump. So if they come get him next week and say he was at the Capitol building in 2021,
I'm assuming this was that was your bad rant.
I'm sorry. I kind of got off key. I was sounding off on your Caleb Williams, and I had to get that out. I'm frustrated. I couldn't wait.
Tiff, let's move on down to the bad, because from the sounds of everything, as you already said, you had no good. So let's hear about that number one bad from yesterday.
I mean, now I really don't want to go to my bad because this is gonna look like I'm bashing Caleb, and I'm really not trying to bash him. But I'll just say this because I've already said most of my rant. There were a few times, beside him looking nervous, beside him, overthrowing or whatever, like I think I said in our last recap, I was kind of nervous about the showdown between him and Jaden because Caleb puts on this air that nothing bothers him, that he's Teflon Don, he doesn't get nervous, but he does. And I felt like he knew this was going to be him against Jaden, 1 against 2. Is Jaden better than Caleb? And I was nervous about that being at home, all these different factors kind of playing with his head, for lack of a better word. And it seemed like it did to me. And there were a few times where I was just so frustrated. Like the time he was kind of scrambling around and he slid like literally half a yard before the first down. It was like, and I'm not saying I want him to get killed, put himself in harm's way to get knocked out of the game, but just a little effort to get that first down would have made me happy. It was like, bro, he's done that several times in the game. And they said maybe he was just disoriented. He didn't even know where he was, but he was so close to the first down marker. I'm like, just try to get that first down, bro.
Get in there.
That sack that took us out of field goal range. Like, again, not all of it was on him. When the guy came in to replace Braxton, he was getting done for that first series or two. So it wasn't all on him. But it's just times where, again, with maturity, Caleb is going to have to know, stop getting us knocked out of field goal range. If it's not there, bro, get rid of it. But I will give that guy, I don't remember how to pronounce his name either, a little bit of love because he was the one that made a couple crucial blocks to spring Swift for that touchdown. So if we're going to jump on him for all the things that he did wrong, we do need to show him just a little bit of love for bouncing back and making those crucial blocks for Swift to be able to bust loose and get that touchdown. So that's all the bad. And the other bad, I know we'll get to Eberflus thoroughly in the ugly. I didn't like when DJ got hurt that Eberflus didn't even go check on him. Like, walk to the other sideline and see if one of your star players is all right, or at least stand over there and look concerned. Like, he's sitting on the sideline looking like a duck when one of your star players is laying down, wrenching in pain. I don't know. That just annoyed me. So I threw that down as one of my bads too. Like, bro, go check on your player, or at least walk over there like every other coach does when they have a player down.
I like the word wrenching.
R.I.P. FGB Duck.
FBG. Okay.
My bad. Well, FGB anyway, but yeah.
It's definitely FGB.
R.I.P. FBG Duck. All right, Q, you had another bad. You had to get off your chest.
There's a lot of bad, but trying to decide who is my bad, who is my ugly. Really, I think I got to the ugly. I leaked into the ugly, but the bad is my boy Tyreek Stevenson. Bro, what are you doing? You're poking people in the face again. You got to stop with the over emotions. You poking people in the face, getting 15-yard penalties. He claims he wasn't taunting, that he was celebrating with Bears fans. Whatever the case, the game isn't over. What are you celebrating? Get your ass down there and play defense. It was just and his play on the field. I know he gave up a 60-yard bomb to Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is a very good player, and corners are all going to get beat. It happens. You're going to get those guys get paid lots of money too. They're good players, but it's the mental mistakes. That's the bad. Play hard. Do what you're supposed to do. If you get beat, tip your hat to the guy in front of you. But poking people, what are you trying to be tough for at the wrong time? You have nothing to prove. You made a good play. Stop, John. Get back in the huddle. Do your talking in between the whistles. Knock somebody's, as my high school coach used to say, knock somebody's dick in the dirt. That's what he says. Knock a dick in the dirt. Put a dick right in the dirt.
How many times are you gonna say it? We heard you the first 6 times you said it. We're just gonna keep saying it, okay?
But no, seriously, you got to play. You got to play on a little bit of control, and I want to see the veterans on the team reel him in. That's when Kevin Byard is supposed to say, "Dude, chill, knock it off." Montez Sweat, dude, knock it off. Grab him, do something. Come on, bro, get in the game. Because I felt like all through the game that there was so much building tension, and the Commanders were clearly trying to get under the Bears' skin. Kickoff after snaps, they're talking, they're jogging. It was a very high-profile game, and you could feel the energy on both sides that they wanted to win it for their quarterbacks. These guys are like us. They play for the team, but they're fans of the organization. They become tied into the community. So, the Bears want Caleb to be the better quarterback. Washington feels energized by Jaden Daniels. They're fighting for their guys, but you got to play smart. You got to play hard in the whistles. You can't get caught up into the extra stuff. You didn't learn your lesson from week 2 when you got Jalen Johnson's head mushed into the end zone by Nico Collins. You can't do that. You don't rile people up and then let them take it out on your teammates. You're over there poking an offensive lineman in the face, getting him riled up. Don't poke the bear, Tyreek. Get your head in the game, please. That's my bad.
He poked the bear with Terry, scary Terry too. Him and Terry were going at it. And Terry, he's a really good wide receiver, but he's pretty calm. I've never seen him that turned up. But he was calling Tyreek all kind of names. So I don't know what they were talking about.
Terry act like that. I don't know if Pay. I don't know if you have, and you a big Terry McLaurin fan. But yeah, he's usually real reserved. And before we move on, I'd like to say I'm not trying to stop Tyreek from playing with an edge. That's clearly what works for him. And by all accounts, all the meathead Bears fans, trade him, cut him, bench him. He's a good football player. Tyreek is a good football player. And to compare him to another good football player on the team, Jalen Johnson, in year 2, Tyreek is a little bit ahead of where Jalen Johnson was in year 2. It's a physical guy. He plays with an edge, and you don't want to take that from him. I just want the coaching staff and his teammates to hold him accountable. This isn't the first time you've got 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalties. If you get it in the midst of a game, you're going 100 miles an hour, and you have incidental contact, helmet to helmet, I'll even forgive that. But you're in perfectly control of your emotions after the play. You don't have to poke that guy in the face, and you don't do it in front of the ref. Like he has to get reined in, and I wanna restate, this is a good football player. This is a guy you want on your team, but he's got to control them emotions.
Yeah, I mean, I think just to close out on him, he made some goofy plays and some goofy moves, but I mean, we got to let it go soon, right? He's 24 years old. He plays a position that has a lot of bravado. You have to have that. You have to think you're that guy, because you are going to get burned at times. So you have to have a certain.
You're on an
we think of all the ones in the league who are up there, they have a ridiculous amount of bravado.
Yes.
Like that. He's going to have to keep that edge, but the veterans and the coaches need to rein it in, because he wasn't the only one that got an unsportsmanlike penalty yesterday. Like, why are we getting unsportsmanlike penalties? This not even the Packers. I'm like, where's all this animosity? We're out there like ready to scrap every play. Like, this is really our rivals. And it's like we had 2 unsportsmanlike penalties.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's the part that was driving me crazy. Like, again, we keep saying over and over, this team is so undisciplined. So undisciplined. Like, yes, it is an emotional game. They're young. They're, it's going to from time to time blow over. They be out there trading blows all the time, like literally almost every play, but then you'll hit somebody in the face. Now it's a 15. But the undisciplinedness of the Bears at times, like we're not good enough yet to shoot ourselves in the foot like that.
Tiff,
we're just not.
You said something key. You said we're young. And I think you also said you see this all the time with the chirping, the unsportsmanlike conduct. This is something that when teams look at film and look at your tendencies, they're going to say, you can get them you could bait them in the penalties. We've seen them scrapping with the Panthers. You saw a lot of chirping with the Texans, a lot of chirping with the Commanders. We're 7 games into the season, half the games, you saw chirping with the Titans. Teams are going to say, you know what, let's get under their skin, talk to them. Maybe you can get them distracted. Maybe you can rile up a guy like Tyreek and get him to, get distracted or give you an unsportsmanlike conduct. So it's time that, the Bears coaching staff, this is on them. Reel this in now, because teams are watching. They're going to think we can get easy penalties. We can get these guys to do stuff and retaliate. We can get under their skin and get them unfocused.
Hey, you both said a thing. You lead me into my bad. My bad is bad energy. Bad energy, once again, you highlighted week 2, in which we all 3 of us said we didn't like how they were bringing the fight to the Bears, and the Bears didn't respond. Mm-hmm. We didn't like how certain ridiculous actions wasn't backed up, highlighting Tyreek Stevenson getting, putting the battery in Nico's back, and then it ended up getting Jalen thrown around in the end zone. I'm gonna go right back to that again this week. We had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. I've talked about it ad nauseum. I did not like the Tressman era. I didn't like the Nagy era, and I didn't like the Fox era for a lot of reasons. But one of the things that really made me mad in those 3 coaches, it would come out of a bye week and look lost.
Yeah,
they come out of a bye week and look like they did not have extra time to prepare for this opponent.
Crazy.
This team on yesterday, they didn't necessarily look unprepared. They didn't look like they were up to the challenge in certain areas. There was one play in which Caleb was scrambling. He slid, and it might have been a late hit because the guy flew over him, right?
Yeah.
And Caleb was looking for the flag. The Bears swarmed, but no one raised up. My man who may have committed a late hit, He did not feel threatened whatsoever. He talked all this shit to everybody that came over there, and even smacked the offensive lineman. I forget which one it was. Smacked him right across his face and walked away untouched.
Flag.
Walked away
He did.
untouched.
And I don't get that. We keep getting all these flags, but we actually ain't got no fight. That's crazy.
Right. We bring the energy at unnecessary times. Why is Tyreek doing it? Why is he chirping and then getting burnt? Last season you said, I still got the clip on TikTok. It's still getting views. Tyreek is getting tried by every quarterback. They are trying him. Obviously, they got to try somebody because they ain't gonna try Jalen, right?
They want his company. He in Division 2. He the new guy in the dorms, and they trying to take his commissary. They not giving him no time. They challenge him for that phone time. You know how it is when you in the county. You know how it is. You got to establish yourself if you want to talk to your people. You want to get that phone. No, when they line it up behind you, they gonna try you.
And that's exactly what's going on with Tyreek. He's a second-year player. He's got to make a name for himself in the league. People are going to try you to see what you made of, and the story out on him right now, the book out on him right now. He's emotional, right? If you keep going at him, his emotional get the best of him. And he's going to do something stupid. Segue. Let's go to our ugly. I don't know. Should I start this one off?
I feel like you want to start this one off, and you got the energy for it. Go ahead.
All right. So my week 8 Cut the Crap Award. I haven't had to do this in a couple of weeks because we have been winning and we had a week off. So that's 4 weeks that I ain't had to tell nobody to cut that shit out. But guess what? I've got a bonus one for you. I got 2 of them. Cut the crap. Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron. I'm going to start off with you two guys. I don't know who the hell you think you are, but your play calling is a bit abysmal. What I saw yesterday from the offensive side of the field and the defensive side of the field, mind you, and that falls squarely on the Eberflus. What I saw was a masterclass of how to lose a game. We talked all last year about this team. They talk a lot, but they don't even know how to win games. And you see that permeating through the skin of this team now. They have the talent. They have the favorable schedule, but they still do things as if they don't know how to close games out. But case in point, that fourth quarter, you have the ball in the red zone. We're right there and underneath the 5-yard line. You have DeAndre Swift, who's having a great game. You have a bigger running back, Roschon Johnson, who should be your closing bell cow in that type of situation. Does he see the field? No, he does not see the field. Instead, you give it to an offensive lineman who was twice cut. You cut him last season. He went to, I believe, the Packers. They cut him, and then you brought him back. And you say, we're not going to use him, even though we are bereft of talent on offensive line. Let's get him in the game. Let's get him a lather. Let's get him some sweat up. Let's get him some game going. Let's give him the ball. No. Don't block anybody. Let's give him the ball. And what did he do? Of course, he don't know what he's doing with the ball. Lineman don't touch the ball. He fumbled it right into the teeth of the defense. Right into the teeth of the defense. Miraculously, the Bears defense got the ball back. They didn't give up no inch. Got the ball back, and the offense came back, got back into that same red zone. It is under 2 minutes. You obviously have to kill this clock, right? And the clock is going to be a point of contention later on in this little ramp. You have to kill the clock. First play, first and goal. What do? Throw the ball. Why are you giving Why are you giving the Commanders another timeout? Because that pass was incomplete? I don't know. Shane Waldron, that's a bad play call. And you know what? Matt Eberflus, you being his boss, that play call has to come through your ear set too. You have to stop that shit. That's a bad play call. Say, hey, bro, no. Check out of that and run the ball. Obviously, we did get into the end zone again. They did figure out, like, hey, Roschon should have the ball. Got into the end zone, got 2-point conversion with Cole Kmet, who's another big guy who should, if you're going to give the ball to a big guy, give it to Cole Kmet. If you don't want to give it to Roschon, we got what we needed to do. Give them the ball. They have to go to the span of the field. They have to score a touchdown to win this game. We give them an easy 15-yard completion to Terry F1 McLaurin. Now,
Bounce.
I am not super upset with that because you definitely got to protect the backfield, right? You definitely got to protect the 6 points. But there's no reason why Terry should have been by himself for 15 yards. Somebody needs to be checking him. That was inexcusable because now obviously we lost the game because now Jaden McDaniels can run around from 50 yards away and just chuck it up there. To segue to my second part of my Cut the Crap award, Mr. Stevenson, you have arrived. We've talked about ad nauseum about your overaggression, your handsy, you're doing the things that young players do. Welcome, sir. You have arrived. And where have you arrived? You have arrived at my last fucking nerve. I am sick and tired of you doing the most. How about you start doing the least? Just play football, bro. Why are you jawing on the sideline? Why is your back to the play? Who the hell do you think you are? You won player of the week once, and now you got your back to the play? Bro, the game ain't over. The game there for the life of me. It is hard being a Bears fan sometimes. We cannot get right for consecutive weeks sometimes. It is 58 days to Christmas. I want a team that does right. I want an offense that does right. I want defensive players that don't do stupid shit. I want Tariq Stevenson to just play ball.
Yeah, you had you had a list there, but I'm actually gonna take the opposite of your stance on mine. Like, of course, the old linemen play when it don't work. We're like, don't do that shit. That's bonehead. Woo 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 woo. But trick plays are a part of the game now. Everybody does it when it works. It's like, oh, great job. When it doesn't, it's like you're a dumbass. Why don't do that shit again? So now we know, take that stupid shit out of there. Don't do that no more, especially with somebody who never handles the ball and with a rookie QB. But at the end of the day, the defense stopped him and we got the ball right back. So I didn't feel like that was just game changing. If we would have scored right there, I don't know that scored there instead of a little bit later. I don't know that would have changed the game for me. So that was a bonehead move. Like, don't do that shit no more. But that wasn't the end all be all for me. For me, mine was the thing that actually didn't bother you that much. Why the hell are we letting them get that 15 yards? So now he has a chance to throw that Hail Mary. Why did we do that? I'm not saying we had to have everybody down, but make it somewhat contested. Make it cover the end so he may have to throw it to the middle of the field and they don't have any more timeouts. Like, don't put ourselves in a situation where we have to Hail Mary it. Or if he does, he's not even close enough to get it. And on the last play, why the hell did we have a spy on him? Did we really think he was going to jump and get past everybody and run it 60 yards? I did not. Yes, there was holding on that play, but we can't leave shit in the ref's hands. Why did we not just play how we usually play? We gave this man 2 hours to jump and shake and dance and move and for them to get held over and over and the flag not to be thrown, the receivers to run down, for Tyreek to do a whole celebration. Why did we give Jaden that much time to have his moment? We let this man have a historic moment that will go down in history and will be played 10, 15, 20 years from now every time these two teams play, instead of just playing defense like we always do. And you know what? I am sick of the Bears playing prevent defense when we have a lead, and we never prevent shit. We always get in prevent defense and end up losing. I've never seen a team, especially in the last few seasons, lose over and over in the most improbable ways. Once again, we snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. We literally, it's like last year all over again, where it's like, oh, no way we could lose this one. Like, we got the momentum. We've been playing not great all game, but we're playing good when it matters. All we got to do is not let them go. Oh, like, we keep Eberflus. Bro, you are supposed to be this defensive guru. Yes, you do have the defense playing well. They were holding them to three. But when the shit gets tough, when it's really time to lock down and prevent, we don't ever prevent shit. So maybe we should stop going with that strategy. Maybe we should try something different, because we're not stopping anybody. If we don't have a huge lead and it comes down to the last play and the other team got the ball, we might be in some trouble.
I alluded to this earlier because I was just ranting in a stream of consciousness. But yeah, my ugly is the coaching staff, top to bottom. Like Tiff said, Eberflus has the defense playing well. However, there are too many in-game baffling moments for my liking. And this is year 3 for Eberflus. My issue with that is I don't see this improving. When you evaluate players, you want to see them make gradual steps. You know what I'm saying? For instance, we've seen Caleb make gradual steps this year. Now, he kind of he backslid a little bit in this game, but we've seen the gradual steps. There was a Zach Ertz catch where it looked like he trapped the ball, and the Commanders went and got up to the line of scrimmage real fast and ran. And it was, where is your awareness on the sideline? Where is the man upstairs telling you to challenge that? We've already spoke enough about the Durk, the Kramer handoff, which was, baffling. Tiff, you talked about the spy on the last play. I could see on the previous play you using a spy because the score was 15-12, right? So they could have gotten the field goal range, kicked the field goal. But with no time left, why are we spying Jaden? He's not running 70 yards down the field and scoring. And if he does, then you tip your hat to him and you say, either we misplayed that horribly or this is really that dude. Like, if he runs 70 yards down there, tip your hat. Why are we also rushing 3 people and letting him just dance around and wind up for the Hail Mary? Put some pressure on him. Make him get rid of that ball sooner. And yeah, Jacob Martin got held, and that was ugly because I don't feel like the refs are. I know probably every fan base probably says the refs are against him, but damn. I'm going to butcher his name, the linebacker for the Texans, Al Shaziz. I mean, he came onto the sideline. He beat up everybody on our sideline. I think he swung on me. Where was the flag there? I mean, he punched Roshan. He beat up 3 other guys. He kicked our dog. He beat me up, and no penalty. Tyreek takes his little index finger, his little fiddler finger, and he touches the face mask, and they throw a flag. Hardy is going up and getting handsy with a guy who initiated the aggression, and they call a flag. What do the Bears need to do to get the benefit of the doubt? Caleb goes to slide, and the guy just sits on his head like it's a Diddy party. He sits on Caleb's face and punishes his head like this is some Diddy party, and Caleb is a sex worker. When are we going to start getting the benefit of the doubt? That's ugly to me, and I think it goes hand in hand with the respect that your coaching staff gets. Certain coaches, you see them on the ref's ass all game. You're not going to get away with this. If I got to go and take a fine, I'm going to shed light on you being a bad ref, because refs get judged and they get graded too, and the best refs get access to playoff games and Super Bowls, the higher paid games. Those crews work those games. So there's pressure on them to perform too. I feel like Eberflus put some pressure on these guys. Stop throwing the red flag. He throws the challenge flag at the wrong time. Has he ever won a challenge? Has he won any challenge since he's been here? And he challenges the stupidest plays we don't need the replay official to tell us is wrong. He's challenging it. So with the in-game flubs weekly, the poor time management, the poor usage of timeouts. It's like you can go into every game and see at least one baffling call each game. Like in the Jaguars game, I forgot who it was. Was it Brian Thomas? He caught a ball and he trapped it on the ground. And I'm like, Eberflus, throw the red flag. What are you doing?
I think he's stunned now because he hadn't won any of them. So he's like, well, I'm not going to throw it now. But like you said, in that instance, throw it. What you got to lose? And I'm sorry, were you done, Q? I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say the one last thing that you brought to my mind when you were talking, timeouts. We ended the game with all 3 of them. Why don't you call it on the second to last play when he was trying to tell him to come up and check Terry? Call a timeout. On the last play, call a timeout and say, hey, guys, just remember, on this Hail Mary, you do boop, doop, doop. I don't care how many times you practice it. Put that thought in your mind. Washington wasn't going to go to the sideline and draw up some miraculous play that was going to help them win.
You knew
so why don't you call a timeout and make sure everybody on the defense is on the same page and knows exactly what to do? And then you don't have Tyreek down there acting a fool. It's just like, why did we take all 3 of our timeouts with us with the loss? It's just Eberflus. He just is so. And then he stood up. I guess they asked him about the second to last play, and I guess he said today or yesterday that play had no bearing on the game. And Greeny went crazy. Greeny said that was top 5, one of the top 5 dumbest things he's ever heard someone say, period. Not just in sports.
He needs to down when he makes a mistake instead of just being accountable. And don't get me wrong, I don't need my coach to win the post-game press conference. But
be realistic, bro.
And you don't have to answer these questions. Win the game, you don't have to answer these questions. So,
but don't say that didn't have any bearing when it very much had bearing. Just know what I'm saying? You know what? We didn't do what we were supposed to. We'll learn from it. However you say it, but don't say, oh, that didn't have any bearing on it at all. Yeah, it really did, bro. If they wouldn't have got that 15, he wouldn't have been able to get it down that far. And we're not in this situation. So let's call a spade a spade. I don't know. It's just he was annoying me bad. He really was. And he's all jolly and all that shit. And that's great. But like you said, sometimes you got to get on them refs. They have no respect for the Bears. They have no respect. We're not winning anything. And the coach is not on them. We don't even get calls at home. Like, we don't even get preferential calls at home. So we know on the road we're not going to get it. There actually were a few calls yesterday. They were right, but they did go in our favor. So I was like, okay, all right, this is going all right. Of course, there was holding on that last play, but they wasn't finna call that shit.
No.
Well, we wish they would in the perfect world. They wasn't gonna call that shit, man. Them refs wasn't trying to get you to yesterday.
Blatant holding, but I just feel like, yeah, we're not getting the respect. No way a guy should be able to beat up our entire sideline. And I mean, Eberflus, you're in Chicago now. If you do something to a Chicago when we spin, we go get our get back, even if we got to crash out and head to the feds. Shout out to Durkio again. Learn to get your get back.
Crash out, but they not crashing out like that.
Come on, I need to crash out. Next week, I need to crash out.
Listen, Tyreek crashed out. We crashed out enough.
Right,
we need some.
right.
We need some dubs before
not
we crash
out.
Okay.
Spin and get your get back, but stay in the game. Get your get back.
Damn shame what they did to that dog. I'm the only one that's seen Coming to America. Y'all terrible.
Well, I was gonna agree.
We all agree that the one thing Eberflus has going for him is his beard, right? Like, we don't know if he can coach. We don't know if he knows how to lead men. We just know he can grow a good beard. What does he have to do to still be the coach for the Bears next season?
Not be stupid in game. Show some growth with your in-game strat. I just feel like he gets out-coached too often. The adjustments are poor. We always start every game on offense looking like lost children. We don't know what's going on to start the game. Like, I want to see a good first drive. Come out, have your stuff together, look like a fluent offense with cohesion, like you've been practicing during the week. I don't understand why it takes 15 minutes to lather up and to get some chemistry. I don't understand why you think on 4th and 1 you should throw to the boundary. I don't know if Caleb checked into that play or what happened, but your quarterback should know better than doing that. And that comes with coaching and preparation. Have a set of 4th and 1 plays where you do something that works. As you alluded to earlier, or said earlier, Roschon Johnson has been very good at short yardage plays. Give him the ball. I have no problem losing with my strength on strength. If they beat me, if they stop Roschon, I tip my cap. I don't want to lose with throwing a screen to DJ with no blockers in front of him. You're not utilizing DJ to the best of his ability. He's a tremendous athlete who can make people miss, but get blockers in front of him. Give him a damn chance. That play had no chance. Lose with your best players doing what they do. If you're in 4th and 1, you want to go for it, that's fine. I don't mind taking a risk. Hand the ball to Roshan Johnson. Go up the middle. You know, if you want to use Kramer, use him as a blocker. He's been doing good on the lead blocks on the goal line. Lose with your best players doing what they do best. That would be like the Bulls in the 90s saying, everybody expects Michael Jordan to take the last shot. We're going to trick him. Let's go to Bill Cartwright. No, you don't do that. Put your players in the best possible place for them to succeed. Giving the ball to an offensive lineman is not your players in a position to succeed.
And you made a great point. We gotta stop starting so slow. Lee, this been every game this season. We have started slowly. Whether it's the whole first quarter, whether it's the whole first half on the offensive side of the ball, we continue to start slowly. And we cannot do these when these divisional games come up. Because guess what? These other teams are putting up points. Minnesota is putting up points. Detroit is putting up points. Packers, not as much, but they're still putting up points. We can't afford to not be scoring anything in the first half and think every time we're going to turn it on in the second half. Plus, yes, our defense is continually stopping people. They have the longest streak of not getting a touchdown scored on them on the first drive. Yes, they are continuing to stop people, but that's tiring. Where they're continuing, they have to go out after 3 and out on the offensive side. We can't move the ball. They're going out, stop after stop, or holding them to 3 at least, and we can't get anything going on the offense. Like you said, we start every game looking like, did the offense practice this week? Did you map out the first 15 plays or whatever was supposed to be something? Did you guys work on anything? Because it doesn't look like it. And we start so slow, and we're not good enough to start this slow, especially when we start coming up to these games with these great teams. We have started slow against, not calling Washington a bad team. They have a good record. But if we would have played even decently for that whole game yesterday, it would have been no competition. We would have blown them out. But we start off slow, and then we can't come back. Or we lose, drop one to the Colts and all these other things we shouldn't have. So then when we get into the thick of the season, now we're sitting here hurt. So they got to get that together. Shane Waldron, I have been okay with him the last few games, but they got to start looking like they've been practicing all week when they come out. They can't keep starting slow and being slow for the whole first quarter, whole first half, and then think we maybe can come back. That's bananas. What are y'all doing all week? And it's like, why we didn't throw it to Cole Kmet? It was tight ends day. We was the sole team that I think he maybe got 1 or 2 passes. We weren't, and there were a few times that Kmet was wide open. And I think Caleb was trying to go for the home run a few times this game. He kind of reverted back to that going for the home run versus taking the check down this game a little bit. But I mean, we got Kmet, DJ wasn't really involved. Keenan wasn't really involved. It was I don't know. They got to get that offense clicking from the beginning and giving Caleb some protection because, we've got some tough games coming up.
Well, we're not the only ones. Pay, did you get to your ugly yet?
He started. He went crazy for 20 minutes. What you mean?
Oh, I don't know if you guys have heard some of the other player reactions in post-game conferences. Cole Kmet has something interesting to say. Where is the quote from Cole Kmet?
You don't use to say too much.
He said, there are moments where maybe some guys lay off here and there. Those are the types of things that can happen when you do that for just a split second. It doesn't always come to bite you in the butt, but when it does, it hurts. Butt biting. Never had my butt bit, but anyways, he said there are guys that have lapses in practice. For a player to say that, I don't know if he was trying to. I'm sure he wasn't trying to throw the coaching staff under the bus, but for him to come and make that observation and share with the media, that's very concerning.
So he was talking about in practice or in the games?
He was saying, okay, I think we had examples of, he said, I think it's a really good lesson for everyone to learn from in terms of how to respect the game. He's saying players weren't respecting the game. He said, I think we had examples of that throughout the game and quite frankly, throughout the week of practice this week. as in not respecting the game. And that's when he went in. There are moments where maybe some guys lay off here and there. That's very concerning. Like in practice, they're laying off here and there. Then Kevin Byard said that he discussed the last series with Eberflus, and maybe you have corners pressing that situation. He said, it's hard to hindsight is 2020, but he basically went on and talked about, maybe you have corners pressing. Looking at it, Washington clearly ran quick outs to the boundary to get out of bounds. They didn't have timeouts, and that's what set them up for an easier Hail Mary. So it's also concerned that you got players openly questioning. I mean, we saw earlier in the season that they sat Waldron down, and the offense said they didn't like a lot of things. Mercedes Lewis was a springboard for the entire team. So this is really concerning to continue on with my ugly about the coaching staff, like that you're being called out by players that they're not satisfied with the game plan.
And maybe they need to sit down and have that conversation with Eberflus about some of that stuff. I mean, because it did turn a little corner when they did it with Shane. So maybe both sides need to sit down. Everybody needs to sit down with somebody and say, "Nah, we're not happy with this," including each other. It needs to be some accountability with the team to each other too. Because guess what? The veterans or whoever can check other players too. If they taking plays off, I mean, it is on the coaching staff. But you can't say, "Hey, bro, like let's get it together." Like they need to start. I don't know. This team just doesn't seem to have as much camaraderie as they had in years past. Even when we were losing last year, the boys still seemed like they had a level of camaraderie. And I don't know that they've gotten that yet, or maybe they don't have those vocal leaders to kind of step in and check each other or get the team together. But they just seem off. They just don't seem in tune yet. Like when it's high and they're winning, everything seems great. But when things are kind of not going well, that's when you got the blow-ups and the looks and I haven't noticed that in the past. Even when we were trash, we weren't that frustrated on the sideline. So I don't know. Hopefully it's something they can get together because we still got a lot of season left and we still got a good chance, but we cannot drop any more of these should have won games.
Yeah. And I think we were spoiled by the strong leadership we've seen in the past. We always had guys like Urlacher on the field. Olin Kreutz on the offense. You weren't going to fool around with Olin Kreutz back there. He might literally put his hands on you. And Urlacher, Briggs, Tillman, those guys held a certain level of accountability for their entire unit. And I'm wondering if we need Montez Sweat. Montez Sweat, it's said that even though he's a good player, that he's not very vocal. You know what I'm saying? And he talked about
he doesn't seem like he doesn't seem like much of a shit talker. Doesn't seem like that vocal leader.
Not very
where was he at on the last play, by the way? I was like, is he hurt? Now I don't want to keep going back to the
rushing.
Play. But I'm like, where is the only guy who got the Jaden all game? Why is he not in the game, huh?
He better have been hurt. That's what
I thought. I hope he's not. But I'm like, where is Montez Sweat?
Why would he not be rushing? And I didn't see Sweat. I didn't see Dexter. Well, I didn't see the Bears getting a lot of pressure on Jaden at all. But I don't know where the Jacob Martin came from. That was the guy that was getting held. And he's the guy that just got activated off of, I think he was on IR for the beginning of the season. But I didn't see the young guy, Booker. I didn't see any of our ultra-athletic pass rushers out there. And that is concerning. Like, I hope that wasn't them outsmarting themselves again, saying, let's put Jacob in there. Let's let Montez. I don't know what was going on. I really don't know. And I wish somebody in the media would have asked Eberflus, where was Montez Sweat on that last play? Where was Javon Dexter? I don't know if I saw him line up on that. So a lot of questions.
Yeah, but we definitely gonna have to get it together though.
We had a lot to get off our chest this week. Everybody's frustrated with the Bears. I feel it. So we got the Arizona Cardinals next week. We got to figure them out. The Arizona Cardinals, they're a sneaky team. They're not good, but they win games they got no business winning. Bears get the shit together. I don't want to have this conversation again next Monday. Bear down.
Bear down.
And you know what, Tiff? I agree with you. Claws up is on permanent punishment.
That was never a thing.
Up.
It was never a thing. We're certainly not doing it now.
My nails you see my nails painted pink?
I don't. That must be the same pink as that's supposedly pink on that rag there. Okay.
For breast cancer awareness.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the color pink for the 100th time, but I'm gonna let you be gray. As long as you repping, if you're gonna have to explain it though, like, oh, this pink is supposed to be for breast cancer awareness, they're gonna say, sir, that's not the
What's
right shade.
understood ain't got to be explained.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Pale pink it is. Not hot pink like every other breast cancer awareness, but make your own rules. It's okay.
Listen, titties come in all shapes and colors, and so does the support.
All right, guys. And on that note, we're
Are we still recording?
Thanks for listening to this latest edition from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Whether you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And all my homies from Chicago, we say three things: bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.